Hello everyone. 43rd session of Computer Application in Business of 5th semester BBA, Bangalore North University. In this session, we are going to understand one of the oldest database model, which is hierarchical database model. Let us revise the content of the previous session. In the previous session, we understood what is a data model and what are the different types of data model. To sum up, a logical arrangement of pieces of data in the database is called as a data model, and we discussed in brief about four types of data models, which are hierarchical database model, network database model, relational database model, and object-oriented database model. The purpose of this session is to enable the students to understand the old and easiest model of database. After the completion of the session, the students will be able to explain hierarchical database model. The content of this session would be introductory part to the hierarchical database model, important terminology, hierarchical model. Let's take an example of hierarchical model, advantages and disadvantages of this hierarchical model, and let's conclude this model. Let us just have a look at how this database model was developed, when was it developed, by whom. Hierarchical database model is one of the oldest database model dating from late 1950s. One of the first database hierarchical system was developed by IBM. In this model, files are arranged in a top-down structure that resembles a tree. Let us look into some of the important terminologies which are used in the construction of this model. As I told you, it looks like a family tree. The relationships are established in the database and it looks like a family tree. Let us understand those important terminologies. Child. Child is nothing but a segment or the relations pointed by the logical association. Parent. The other segment is called as parent segment. Means to say that whenever there is a relationship between the two segments, one is called as a parent and the other one is called as a child. The intermediate files are called as parent, and there will be root. That means the segment without a parent is called as root. Here we are referring for top files in the database. Likewise, there are bottom files which has no children. Means to say that it will not have any relationship in the bottom with the other files. So that is called as leaves. So child, parent, root and leaves are some of the important terms which are used in the construction of this hierarchical database model. Now let us have a look into a database model where an example of an institution is taken. College, which is called as a root. We can also say that it is a parent, that is a segment which has children. Let's see, we have department and infrastructure. This is one level, which is other segment which is called as a child. So like that, we have different levels. When you see in the end, theory and labs, those indicates those segments which does not have a further child, which means to say that they are leaves, because leaves are that segment that has no children. So they are all bottom files. So when you look into this model, you can see the database into three parts. Top level, that is top files, intermediate files and bottom files. Now let's understand some of the advantages and disadvantages of these hierarchical model. Basically, this hierarchical model mandates that each child has only one parent. But a parent record can have more than one children. So in the previous slide, we understood that how a parent and a child is seen based on the records. Now let's understand some of the advantages. It is a simple model amongst the other database model. Since the database is on the hierarchical structure, the relationships between various structure is simple. Thus, the design of the hierarchical model is simple. The other advantage that it has data integrity, because in this model we have parent and child relationship, and there is always a link between a parent segment and a child segment, and always a child segment is automatically referred by its parents, so it promotes integrity. This model also promotes efficiency. It's because the database contains large volume of data in one-to-many relationship, and the data stored in this hierarchical model are secured. It offers data security and it is enforced by DBMS, database management system. The other advantage of this model is it allows data sharing. Since all the data are held in a common database, data sharing is more practical. Though it has many advantages, it is not free from limitations. Now let us discuss what are the disadvantages of this hierarchical model. Since it is one of the oldest model, we can say it has become outdated. As it has limitations, there are many improvised models of databases being introduced and it has become outdated. The other limitation is the changes in the new relations often seems to be very complex. A deletion of one segment may lead to involuntary deletion of all segments because it has a parent and children relationship. If you try to delete a parent, automatically the children are also deleted. That is records. So it lacks flexibility. And this model has implementation complexities. Though conceptually it looks simple, easy to design, but it is difficult to implement. The database designer should have a very good knowledge of physical data storage characteristics. It also has operation anomalies, means to say it suffers from insert, update and delete anomalies, and as such this has no standards. Implementation of this model does not confirm any specific standards. So to conclude, we can say this model is best applied when the conceptual data model resembles a tree. Means to say that most data access begins with the same file and used for a high volume transaction processing and MIS applications. Thus, this hierarchical database model, which is one of the oldest database model, offers many advantages like simplicity, data integrity, efficiency, security and data sharing, but still it is an old and outdated model and the improvised models have come into existence. Now, based on what we have covered in the session, let us try to answer the questions which are multiple choice. Let's look into the question. The question is, one of the oldest database model is, we know there are four models. So all the four models, here three models are given and say none of the above. So we know the answer. Hierarchical database model is one of the oldest database model. So answer is hierarchical database model. Let's move on to the next question. The next question is, which of these is like a hierarchical database? One is network, family tree, book, and a spreadsheet. Yeah, you are right. It is a family tree. Now, let's move on to the next question. What is the basic relationship in a hierarchical database? Is it sibling relationship or a cousin relationship or a parent and child and no relationship? Answer is yes, parent and child. Next question. Which one of the following is an advantage of hierarchical model? Flexibility, faster, simple, and latest. We know that the advantages, it is simple. It's neither flexible nor latest. And the final question, the segment without children are called, yeah, recall back the bottom files. Answer is parent, options parents, root, child, and leaves. So we know that any segment without children are called as leaves. So these are some of the books referred in making this PPT for the session. Thank you.